Welcome back to another video of the targeted individual program of living experience. Yeah, they got the prep right there. Look at him. You know, these again, they're false agenda, they're false narrative, right? So what they will start doing also is putting perps on every corner, as if, like, you know, to try to insinuate like I'm going to run. Like I said, I have nothing to worry about. But I should say I have nothing to worry about. What I'm saying is I haven't done anything that I should be worrying about. But I understand that when people are trying to do things to you, that you can never be too careful or too cautious. And so being aware and alert as a TI, that target individual, you have to be. You see the New York Credit Department shows up again. I got how much of them? Let's see if there's only 2 vehicles or there's like a show of force. Usually they have like 6 or 7 vehicles following each other, right? And they usually have their lights flashing. Okay, it's only those, right? So they usually have their lights flashing. You know, show of force. I'm saying, you know, I've never been able to actually record that part of my targeting. Like whenever they get disemboldened from a high-level attack, and I call it a high-level attack because again they use third party, right? What is called an indirect attack. It's like you have an indirect rulership where you have a puppet ruler, but you know the people in the back in the shadows that are actually controlling that individual, like what they do in Africa with African leaders, right? So they also do what is called indirect attack, meaning that, you know, the New York Credit Department, the U.S. security agencies, CIA, the FBI, DOD, when they engage in non-consensual experimentation, particularly with remote neural monitoring. And again, this is huge because again, we talk about how they are building artificial intelligence, right? And it's not just through feeding the public this narrative of using certain AI, teaching it, right, certain things. And again, they get the public to basically teach AI, and then, you know, the public is doing their job for free. The public is not getting paid, as opposed to them having to hire people to come in and work on these AI projects. What they do, they put it out there as freeware software. You know, it's cool to use it. You can ask it this, and that. Meanwhile, you know, you're programming these artificial intelligence to know exactly who you are as a person, how you think, what you think, your emotions, how you feel, because you're feeding into the beast. You're feeding into the beast, who they can then turn around and use your information that you've taught this AI and profit greatly off of it. Okay? I mean, it's like, why is it that people are so, you know, the level of critical thinking is it's really questionable at this point. You know, I've never used AI, Chat GTP, and none of that stuff because I understand what it is that they're doing. Okay? How they're exploiting the public to do the work for them, right? But the public receives nothing. So imagine them spending, you know, 5-6 years developing this artificial intelligence when all they can do is spend a year, make it open source, and guess what? The public is used to help write all these algorithms, right? From in terms of developmental aspect of an AI personality, right? Its ability to respond in a way that suits your personality, right? So these are the things that people don't think about, right? But with the military and what they've done, again, this with the remote neural monitoring, microchip, BCI, and you know, doing non-consensual human experimentation, and getting us, the targeted individuals, the targeted victims, to basically write the artificial intelligence programming in terms of how we think, what we do within the society, how they can manipulate us, okay? And so therefore, again, copying our consciousness, right? So imagine that if they can copy our consciousness and they can transfer our consciousness to a host body, let's say, you know, a clone, you know, and again, it's all speculation on my part, but, you know, so let's say they want to make a clone of me. Going forward, they can transfer my consciousness into that clone, right? Using BCI, okay? You know, like I said, things may seem science fiction, but it's not far-fetched, right? It is not far-fetched. Listen, again, though we may not have the evidence to show that they have actually cloned people, rest assured that they have, okay? Rest assured that they have. Okay, remember, cloning is not a new technology. They've been able to clone animals since the early 90s, right? So I can guarantee you that they've cloned people. Individual, wealthy individual who want to live long life, right? And with BCI, they're now able to do what? To now make a copy of your consciousness, of your conscious mind and subconscious mind with BCI, right? So imagine them, you know, imagine your consciousness on a drive, right? On a solid state drive, okay? On some optical media, okay? So, you know, they can, just as how they do with emotions. We know that they can clone people emotional clusters, right? And they can transmit it or broadcast it through a wide area to make everybody within that area feel whatever emotional. Look, if she comes over, walk over, look at my hat, and then say the word time. I want to see the conversation of what they engage in. Right. So anyhow, this is what they do. This is what they do. All right. The constant threat. You know, I talk about how the whole time thing started with these racist cops in the NYPD, white cops, for years. When I go pick up my son, they're always there. When I'm leaving, they're always there in the train station, on the train platform, looking at their watch. And when they do that, the word time would just, like, my mind would say the word time out loud. So again, that's when back then I didn't know, but now I know that I was programmed, that they've broken into my psyche, again, which is against the law, and again, not just here in the United States, but international law, right? An experiment without my consent. So, you know, and again, trying to hide it. How do they try to hide it? Right, by setting you up so that they can try to use whatever they have to blackmail you. But they have nothing they can use on me. Right? They have nothing that they can use on me, because I have not committed any crime. But this is why they keep using these individuals to make false accusation and false claim. Okay? You know, but they can go ahead. Nothing I can do except to, like I said, expose what it is that they do. Because you're not going to railroad me. That's not going to happen. Okay? Too much black men are sitting in jail because they've been railroaded by racist cops who don't give a damn, and it is their job to lock up as many black men as possible and give us criminal record. We know this. This is nothing new. We know how this system works. Right? We know how the system works. Right? But because we feel so powerless, and again, this is just a feeling, they want us to believe that we're powerless. Right? That's what they want to do. They want us to believe that we're powerless, but I don't believe that. Okay? This is why whenever they attack me, I always come back. I'm always back, because you know what? I don't believe that I'm powerless, and they would never make me believe that. You know, I may not have the resources that they have. You know, but I have the truth. Okay? I have the truth. And I'm not going to sit here and say the truth will always prevail, because sometimes the truth don't prevail. Okay, when you're dealing with people who are psychopathic, sociopathic, dark tribes, they have the ability, the power, the resources. It doesn't matter what the truth is. They can make you believe the lies is true and the truth is lies. And the one thing that they are afraid of is the awakening of black people, of our minds, of our African minds. Right? This is why they're pushing so hard to, again, steer us back into that. For those of us who've realized that, the religious doctrine is all BS and it's a lie, and they've used it. They've created an opposite version of our Kemetic spiritual system. They've created anything the African have done in ancient time to benefit the world and the society that they built and they lived in. The Europeans have came and they've done the opposite, to destroy it. They never built anything. The Greeks came, what did they do? They destroyed it. They did build a library. I give them credit for that, but then they say they burned it down. The Romans came, didn't build anything. They destroyed. The Arabs came, what happened? They took, they destroyed. They didn't build anything. All right? What they're doing now is called preservation. And the reason why is because, for the past 200 years, they've been using our ancestors' sacred burial grounds and robbing our ancestors' dead bodies, okay, to profit off of it. Okay, that's why they're clinging on to this whole concept of, the ancient Egyptians look like them. No, they didn't. The Arabs came into Egypt in the 7th millennium. Actually, in the 6th millennium, right? The 7th century, which is in 640, I think 649. I'm not quite sure, or 625, something like that, right? That's where your history begins in terms of Egypt, okay? And so for those of us that know, they don't like us, when they understand that you know the truth, you speak the truth, you're not gonna have any friends. How could you? Right? Because the truth that you're speaking, okay, it busts it busts their bubble, right? The lie that they're living, it destroys the lie, and they can't take it, right? Because the lie makes them feel good, so they rather hold on to the lie as opposed to learning the truth. Anyhow, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.